Right, well, this is a hexagon question from the 0445 specification, October-November 2019. The question states, a logo for a sandwich shop is shown below, so you're given the whole logo. Complete the full-size logo in the space provided on the right by drawing a hexagon-shaped border, the outer bread bun, the centre fillings and the missing letters of sandwich. So you've got the outer hexagon, the bread bun on either side, centre fillings and the lettering. Lettering's only 3, generally takes longer than you would like, but hexagon shape, 3 marks, so it's going to be quite straightforward. The size, it's a regular hexagon, 210 across corners, so it's from corner to corner is 210. So we're going to use a compass to draw the circle, so we need the radius, which is 105. So setting the compass to 105, or 105, so that's 10.5 centimetres, 105 millimetres. And using the centre you're given, because you're given a centre here and a centre here, just drawing the circle in. The hexagon cross starts on the centre, so we can use that distance, because each side is going to be the same length as the radius. So putting it on the horizontal and marking up and marking down. Checking it doesn't move. And from there, you can use your ruler to just join each point that you've marked on the circumference of the circle. Now looking at the inside, we've got the lettering, so looking at what's similar. So you've got this section here is the same as this, so this length and this length is the same. So we can use what we've got to just draw a line straight down. You can measure it, you're given the measurements, but look at shortcuts, what's easy. This width here is 30, so I'm going to measure down the centre line. 30. So from here to here is 30, and then I've got a few more lines. I'm going to put them all in at once, just a shortcut, but you can do them one at a time. So this distance here is 5, then I've got another 5 and 20. So from the mark, so I've marked 30, so I've got 5, 5 and then 20. So I'm going to mark them all in. Remember, time is tight, so any shortcuts you can get will help. We've got a semicircle on the end here, and it's 30, so the radius would be 15, but I've already marked it out, so I can use the centre line and just use that measurement and check. On my photocopy it's a little bit out, so and feel free to turn your drawing board when you're doing this. I find it a bit tricky doing it straight and not being able to move it. So I've got this rectangle here, I've got the semicircle, this rectangle, your space, and then we've got this one here. So this distance here is 140. So I've got a centre line, so it's going to be 70 either side. So mark out 70, 140. Draw a vertical. And this is a curved edge, so using the distance, so the width of this, check your compass, then you've got your curve here, so you need to have the point of your compass here so you can use your compass to do that curve. So from the corner where you want it to start, mark in, do both sides, or one at a time. Put the compass here, and then pop in your curve. Making sure your compass doesn't move. So now we're on the top side. So just checking distances again. How long is this here? Look, there's no measurement given, but if you compare it to the one below, you can see it's the same. So I'll draw my line up. I can see that it's not quite long enough, so I'm going to extend it. So we've got a distance of 5 and then 12. So from that line, I'm going to mark out 5 and then 12. So it goes up straight vertically for 5, and then it goes in slightly, 6. So I'm going to measure 6 in from either side. I've done it on the... Not sure where I marked that one, but you just mark it there. That's where it needs to go. And you can put in that diagonal. So now we've got a radius of 96 there, which looks like it's going to be wider than that. So I can set my compass to 96. Now to put this radius in, I'm going to need a point here to be able to do it. So from each point, so from the 2 points where the radius is going to cross, put your compass. It's going to be on the centre line, but you can always double check. So that's the point. Let's double check that, but you don't necessarily need to if you're confident. So that's my point. Put your compass here and just draw a radius. From point to point. Mine's moved a little bit. We've got an equilateral triangle notch cut out here, and its sides are 10 millimeters. So it's going to be half, one side is going to be split on half on the horizontal. So I'm just going to draw that line in. It is basically horizontal. I'm just going to mark 5 either side. That's the length of each side. So I'm going to set my compass to that and mark, and just mark the centre line. You could do it from both sides, that would be good practice, but I know it's going to be there. And then just drawing in the notch. So the last thing to do is lettering. It's 3 marks, and I always do find it takes longer than the marks. Your marks are for accuracy and proportion of the N, so you've got the N and the C, accuracy and proportion of the C, and your spacing, so you need to know the spacing. So spacing between letters, if you draw some verticals in, or you can just measure it between 2 points. So spacing between is 3, so just double check. So I'm going to mark out, I'm going to do both at the same time, because then you've already picked up that mark, even if the lettering doesn't go well. I'm going to spend a bit more time on the lettering, but you know, time is always tight, so you might not have this time. As long as you've got spacing and proportion for each letter, it should work. So the N, the lettering is, measuring the thickness of it is 3 millimeters. Actually, yeah, about 3. So I'm going to mark in 3 and 3 here. I'll put in my verticals for the N. And then you could measure 3 up or mark where you think it would be, because you've got your N coming up your diagonal. So you could go from the underneath and thinking about 3 millimeters down, because you're trying to save time. And then the C, there's a few ways you could sketch it freehand, as long as it's in proportion. I'm going to use a compass. So it doesn't really fit with the idea of a mark a minute when you do lettering. So it's good to leave it till the end, because then you're not spending too much time. And if it's taking too much time, maybe come back to it, or just do it last in your question. I find doing small circles quite tricky. So that's my outer circle, and I know it's 3 millimeters, and I was going to set that was going to take off 3 millimeters. So this was 18. So I'm going to set this to 6. But again, you could do this freehand as long as it looks the same thickness. The smaller it gets, the more it jumps out. That looks a little bit thick. If I were doing this in an exam, I might come back and check that afterwards. So you see, you've got a part there and a part there, and that's complete.